What's up guys, it's Vanna and today I'm going to show you how to do a vegetable pancake. So I make these all the time and they're a great way to just get rid of like vegetables that you need to make and keep it healthy. So step one is get yourself a cup of almond flour. So in goes almond flour, then you're going to need 1 egg. Put in your egg. Okay, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Okay, this time of year I really like to use a lot of aromatics. It just reminds me of fall and it's super good that way. So I'm just putting in some thyme, some fresh thyme. And when I work with thyme, just go backwards on the thyme and you can kind of pull off any of the sprigs, like the leaves off the sprigs. You don't really want the sticks, you want just the sprigs. So in goes those. And then we're gonna use some garlic on the #1 cone with the Salad Master machine. Garlic and onions are really good to protect yourself against getting sick. And so, because you know that season's coming up, want to eat more garlic and onions. In goes some carrots. Really good for beta carotene, double vitamin A molecule, good for beauty. I'm gonna put in 1 yellow potato. You can use whatever you have. It doesn't have to be what I'm putting in. This is just what I have, so I'm using it. Okay. And then I'm gonna even do some Brussels sprouts. Shave those in. Part of the cruciferous family, really good for fighting cancer, so some of that. Okay, then I have one of these little onions. I'm gonna just grab this little tiny onion right here. Go ahead and peel off the skin. Then we're gonna pop the whole onion in the back of the Salad Master machine and just buzz that through. I'm using the #1 cone, by the way, if you have a Salad Master machine and you wanna know what cone I'm using. Also, if you don't have a Salad Master machine and you really want one, let me know, because we get to give these away for free and it's pretty awesome. Anywhere around the world, if you're watching, we're in 67 countries where they have this product. So, and then some, this is a Havarti herb cheese, but you can leave the cheese out if you like. I like to add cheese because I really like when cheese gets fried. That crispiness that comes from fried cheese makes me happy. So I like to incorporate that. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because like, it's just a pancake, you know? So I'm also gonna add in some sage. Sage is one of those things that's really like fall, you know? You got like that just kind of pumpkin thing going on with this sage and the rosemary and thyme and all that good stuff. So I'm just chunking in some sage. I got about 3 leaves of sage in there, okay? And then I'm gonna preheat my electric skillet. This is like my baby. I've had it for 12 years. I use it for everything. I travel in like hotels with it. Like it's just super helpful. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of butter. If you wanna avoid butter or limit the amount of butter or oil that you use, then you can actually just put in like a little bit of coconut oil inside the mixture. I like the really fried, crispy texture, so I'm adding it in right now. Also, you know, when you are adding oils, make sure they don't smoke because you don't want it to turn to a trans fat. Okay, and then of course a little bit of salt, pepper to taste. And you could certainly use dry herbs if you don't have fresh, that's not a problem. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of get that pepper going. This is my workout, people, crunching pepper. Okay, you could put in some red pepper flakes if you want to. A lot of different spices. If you're into certain spices, feel free to add those. I just made an awesome video on Indian food that I'll be posting later, so check that out on YouTube. If you go to Cook with Vanna on YouTube, I'm always putting stuff up there. And then I try to also add on Instagram so you guys can see too. Let me get a fork. I'm just gonna combine this whole mixture. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, basically flour, almond flour, salt and pepper, 1 egg, and then whatever vegetables and cheese that you can find. I don't really use regular flour. I always use almond flour because it's hard to digest carbohydrates. And if you keep it to a nut, then it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so we're just kind of combining it. This, obviously it's a little bit thick, so we need to add in, you can put in water or you can put in milk or really whatever you have. Vegetable broth, beef broth. You just want to get it to the texture of pancakes. Almost like haystack pancakes. One trick or tip is when you're doing this recipe, you really want to make sure you don't put any super watery vegetables. Like I wouldn't put a ton of zucchini in there. It's just too high water content. It's going to mess up the ratio. It's not going to come out fried. You don't want your oils to combat with all the moisture in there. Okay, so now I'm looking at this texture. That's what we're after here. And then I'm going to plop those in little haystacks in my skillet here. So this is, I love to make this camping. I mean, this is just a really great recipe that you can use if you want to make something a little bit more nutritious. You want to get some vegetables in the morning and also get in some like eggs and protein. It's a perfect way to do that. So I'm going to put these 4 in here. And also this electric skillet I'm using, I love it because it stays at the perfect temperature. So you can make like 100 pancakes in here and it's still, every single one of them comes out perfect. And this is also a Salad Master product, just like the Salad Master food processor I'm using here. So let me bring you over so you can see what it looks like. Okay. So I'm just gonna let those fry a little bit on one side and then we're gonna flip them over and fry them on the other side. And then I like to just close it off and turn it off and let it kind of cook through the middle. Because we have root vegetables, we have potatoes, we have carrots, we need to make sure that they're done properly. We don't want to like not cook them all the way and then they're a little bit like funky inside. So you want to make sure you definitely fry on both sides and then close it over and let it relax so it can cook through the middle, okay? And if you turn it off at that point and you don't open it, you really don't need any more fire or any more, you know, heat, because the heat from covering it and what's already in the pan is enough to really cook the center. When you're dealing with cookware, make sure you get cookware that's like has a seal. That way you can control the oxidation. That's pretty important. Also, you know, whatever materials you're using, usually stainless steel people shy away from because, you know, it's hard to clean or it's like super porous or you need to add a bunch of oil so it doesn't stick. And there's different types of stainless steel. You don't have to always use a typical like recycled metal. If it's printed on the bottom 1810, that's 18% chromium, 10% nickel. And that's like the best you can get at like Williams Sonoma or anything like that. What I use is a implant grade 316 titanium surgical stainless steel. So the beauty of it is nothing sticks to it. I can use very little to no oil and I'm gonna have it looking beautiful forever because it's a higher quality implant grade stainless steel. So not all surgical steel is created equal. There's 304 surgical steel with titanium, that's like a scalpel, and then there's 316 titanium, which is like a hip replacement. That's about a 2,000% or 20 times difference in steel density and quality. Always be sure that you're not using materials that are going to be reactive, leaching out stuff, especially if you're cooking things that are maybe acidic or salty and have more of a tendency to kind of corrode or react with the surface you're cooking on. If you have nonstick steel, people, throw it away. Okay, that's just wrong. It's so toxic. And not only does it emit polymer fumes, which are inhaled and give you flu-like symptoms, but on top of that, it also like scratches off and you have to keep buying it over and over again. And it has aluminum base, and aluminum is, you know, definitely a scare because of how much Alzheimer's is going on these days. You know, we got a lot of Alzheimer's, and that is actually the fastest growing disease in the United States. So, I mean, statistically, 50% of 80-year-old people have Alzheimer's, which is like terrible. So metals collect in the body, especially in certain parts of the body, particularly the brain with aluminum. All right, so let's flip these over and see how they're looking. Beautiful. Wish I had 5 arms like an octopus and I can show you exactly how it looks, but I'll give you a good peek in just a sec. Let's get them all flipped over. So 1, 2, 3. Oopsie. And then this guy right here. Awesome. Okay. Let me give you a show so you can see what they're really looking like. And there's just something about fried cheese. Like, trust me, I'm pretty health conscious, but when it comes to cheese, don't take my cheese, people. I love me some good cheese. You can see right here how nice and crispy they get. So those are looking gorgeous. So at this point, I'm just going to fry them right now on the other side. And then I'm going to cover it off and let them chill. And then I'll take a picture and I'll put it onto my Instagram, which is Vanna Arbuckle, Cook with Vanna. I'll also probably make a short video you can see on YouTube. And if you're going on YouTube, people, please subscribe to my channel. I put a video up here and there. I try to do a couple a week, and they're always really interesting. I try to keep it easy and doable and healthy. So if you like this video and you want to learn more, Cook with Vanna on Instagram. Remember to hit the bell and subscribe. Cheers, have fun cooking. If you have any questions, please reach out. Take care.